Camp Rock is in the pod tonight. Everybody just have
a good night time.
Time?
Maybe. Kind of.
Camp Rock.
Camp Rock. And
a whole new pod.
Yeah. Disney
Channel.
Original movies.
Lucas Melby.
Jacob Telejohn.
Camp Rock.
Camp Rock. What a weird intro.
Apologies for Camp Rock.
Oh.
Yes, all right. This is a whole new podcast all about Disney Channel original movies.
Or
and as you
DComs.
might have guessed, we watched Camp Rock. And as we've maybe have already shown our hand,
we're great on the spot, musicians, singers, songwriters.
Yeah, this movie, I don't know. All right, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Definitely a staple decom. This is
yes.
It's a very popular. It's probably like the top 5 most watched or something.
It's literally top 3.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
And I think Camp Rock 2, surprisingly, maybe is a little less. It didn't have as high of ratings when it came out, but I think is in the top 5.
Are the Jonases in that one?
I would hope so.
Maybe. I don't know.
I forgot. I completely spaced on looking up IMDb goofs and stuff.
Oh, shoot.
We weren't really sure when we were actually going to record, so this all came together, and I didn't
quickly.
do my usual.
But there's a lot of fun facts, too, about
extensive research. I'm sure it's probably not as popular as High School Musical, with the fans filling up stuff on websites and shit like that, but it's probably, it's a big one. There. Soundtrack sold a lot similar to High School Musical. Obviously, just this movie existing was probably a reaction to High School Musical.
Yeah.
That being said, this is no High School Musical.
No. There are definitely a lot more songs than High School Musical. That we can say with certainty.
But quantity over quality, not always.
Exactly what I'm saying. The quality might not as,
I wouldn't even say.
Yeah.
It's a High School Musical 2. And I wasn't even that crazy about High School Musical 2. I think this is a lesser movie to that. This feels like more of just a typical Disney Channel original movie that just has music in it as well. Seems lower production values. The story is just really a hodgepodge thrown together. I was so excited to get into this phase of Disney Channel original movies, all these musical ones. And so far, I've been a little underwhelmed. With that being said, let's just get into it. And the movie gets off to an exciting start.
Yeah, I was said the movie took 25 days of filming and 7 months of editing. Fun fact.
7 months of editing.
Yes.
I guess who knows where the music production process of that came in and lining that up. I don't know how long movies should take to edit, but for something that doesn't have any actual practical effects or special effects or anything going on, it seems like a lot.
Yeah.
But speaking of High School Musical, this movie opens like High School Musical 2 on the last day of school. And we're immediately getting a rock music montage as we meet our main character, Mitchie, played by Demi Lovato. A bigger Disney name. Yeah, we briefly mentioned the Jonas Brothers, but yeah, this movie is actually
star-studded.
We got all 3 Jonas
Disney
Brothers,
terms,
Joe, Nick, and Kevin.
Yeah.
Joe and Nick are probably the more prominent.
There was a really weird, awkward, younger guy.
I think Kevin is maybe the middle one. Kevin is the one that Drake is convinced looks like Drake Bell.
Yeah, a lot. And I'm not the only one. There's a whole conspiracy thing.
It's not a conspiracy. People are just saying hey, these people look similar. I mean, that happens from time to time with actors. There's a guy who looks kind of like Oscar Isaac, but I don't remember that other guy's name. I think he's in some of the Santa Claus movies. So I don't know.
Tim Allen.
He's operating on a different caliber of acting than Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonas Brothers, very huge at this time. I looked up because I was like, is this how soon to them being a thing was this movie? I think the Jonas Brothers first started on the scene 2005. This was 2008. And I forgot, or maybe didn't even fully know, that they had their own Disney Channel original series.
What was that called?
Jonas or Jonas Brothers or something.
Yeah,
which ran for a couple seasons.
We're getting
around 2009. So this was peak Jonas Brothers. And I would say their music, the music that they're involved with, rightfully so, I would hope would be one of the stronger parts of this movie. Some of their acting, though, and just generally the acting in this movie leaves a lot to be desired.
We are getting into like movies that like for me too. Like, and I watched my fair share of DComs, obviously, but like now we're starting to get like I've obviously heard of Camp Rock, but I don't think I've ever seen the movie. And like a lot of the movies going forward, I don't know if I've maybe 1, 2, 3.
I think there was like a song here and there that I've maybe picked up on and. Yeah, Vines or TikToks or YouTube memes or some shit like that. So yes, Demi Lovato is our main character, Mitchie, though.
Mitchie Torres.
Yes. Put respect on her name.
Respect.
We are already getting this rock montage, as I said at the start. She's trying on different outfits to get the perfect fit for the last day of school. Yes. She's playing music. It's like, oh, is she playing the music that we're listening to, or she's playing on a keyboard and singing? It's not really clear. She goes and eats breakfast with her mom, and she is trying to get her mom to let her go to Camp Rock. We have a title.
Hallelujah.
She's dropping pamphlets around the house, but Camp Rock, it's an expensive place.
It is. Luckily, her mother's a cook.
But that's part of the reason why they can't go, because her catering business is just getting off the ground. So we just don't got that extra cheddar. Well, we got plenty of cheddar, but we don't got cash money to go to Camp Rock.
No bling.
As she's eating breakfast, we see on the TV, there's a TV music station or channel MTV kind of thing.
Yep.
Talking about Connect 3, which is the Jonas Brothers
not to be confused with Connect 4, the game.
I mean, that's what it's based. If I was nice, I would cut that joke out for you.
That was a good joke.
That's not even a joke. That's like a sub-dad joke.
That's pretty good. I'm proud of it.
I think you're supposed to make the connection, because otherwise, what would the connection be? Well, Connect 3 isn't a thing.
She's the fourth.
Oh, man. This really is actually the episode's done here. I didn't really pick up on what the scandal was, but Shane Gray, he's the bad boy of the bunch of the three bros.
He's the jerk.
Played by Joe Jonas. He's done something, and their tour for this summer is canceled, and he's got to do something to rehabilitate his image. I don't know if the news station has the information at this point, but he ends up going to Camp Rock to serve as a counselor.
Yeah, to serve as community time.
We see Mitchie's last day of school. It's not that big of a deal. There's some girl who comes up to her and talks in Mandarin for a second. And I was like, I'm not going to pay attention to anything this girl says or what her name is.
Maybe that matters, though. Maybe that Mandarin
stuff matters. Because she doesn't come. I'm like, I feel like she's not going to come back. And I was right. She does not come back for the rest of the movie.
That is fair.
So for once, I was able to be like, I don't need to pay attention to somebody. Which is just usually what I do to Jacob. And then she returns home. We briefly meet her dad, who owns a hardware store that just had a new expansion. And that's also why they can't go to Camp Rock. But her mom, Connie, has Connie's Catering. And
Connie's Catering.
She's gotten a contract to cater Camp Rock. Because that's the thing for
and now it's all set up. She's got it.
And I don't know, it's like, this was already like the start of summer, so I feel like a lot of that's coming together that Camp Rock should have had this sorted out ahead of time, but it works out well for Mitchie.
Very convenient, I would say.
Yeah, what the heck?
Disney Channel. Very convenient. Almost
making me try to like suspend my disbelief for this movie called Camp Rock.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to believe that these three brothers could be in a band? Get the fuck out of here. You think Mitchie can sing? Shut the fuck up.
This is One Direction before One Direction.
I mean, yeah.
NSYNC.
Yes, there's a long history of
boy bands.
You're having a lot of insight and observations this episode.
The Beatles. You guys have
you
heard
could
of
say
that?
The Beatles is. I think it's fair to argue that the Beatles is. They're technically a boy group, but they were writing all of their music that wasn't
The Monkees?
Covers. Well, the Monkees.
The Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys. Are you done?
No, maybe.
So they're rolling up to camp in the Connie's cooking caravan.
Oh, I like
van.
that. CCC.
We're seeing that this is a pretty nice camp.
CQ. Very nice. Not just pretty. It's like maybe the nicest camp. Like, not only just, like, quality, but just, like, I don't know, it's pretty bitchin'.
And the clientele that is there's a girl coming out of a limousine. We'll soon learn her name is Tess.
And she has a mom.
Wow! Mitchie also has a mom.
Yes.
And we'll learn what her mom's like. What's your mom like? We'll hear about that later in the movie. So, yeah, there's some quick cuts where we're seeing the start of some characters, seeing them in the background, and I'm wondering, like, which of these characters is gonna matter?
Who's gonna matter? Or are they all gonna matter?
Mitchie, she's, like, allowed to take part in the camp, but she still is, like, staying with her mom in the cook's lodge.
She's a poor.
Oh, I thought you said she's a whore.
She's a whore. Yes.
And then who stops by? The camp director.
Who's Australian.
Yeah. Named Brown Cesario. He is apparently the uncle of
the Jonases.
Yeah, the Connect Three, the Greys.
Yeah.
So Uncle Brown. Brown is his first name, though, is the uncle of the Greys, who are not Australian. And we thought it was something where it's like, oh, they just, he's a friend of the family. They know him. They call him Uncle. But no, he refers to them as his nephews later on.
Their blood.
I don't think, obviously, some kind of marriage situation.
Interesting.
Lot coming. Jacob said this movie seemed to have gotten off to a slow start, but I mean, we're at Camp Rock within like 15 minutes. And we're already getting a song within like 15 minutes.
We didn't get a song the first 15, though, like you pointed out High School Musical 1 did in the first like 5-10 minutes.
But I just said this seemed like a crazy intro session where there's a counselor named Dee LeDuc.
Oh, God.
Who I thought she was going to feature more prominently, but as is fitting for Camp Rock, there are numerous events just called something jam. So this is like the intro jam. And she just seems to be present in the intro or the jams to just be like the hype person.
Yeah.
Where she's like, let's fucking go. All right. And now I'm going to pass this over to Lola. So this girl who we had just met briefly, Mitchie's like, hey, how are you? And then she just like steps up to do a song. And it's this like sassy number. It's more of a hip hop rap sort of thing. And there's just a bunch of like guys that extemporaneously just get up and start dancing with her. And it's all like, ooh, you man enough for me. The song name was...
There's so many songs I couldn't keep track. I don't know.
It'll maybe pop up my notes. I try to keep track of the names. We also had met Caitlin, who is basically a non-entity. She does not stand out in my mind. Yeah. She ultimately is not a singer in this movie. She is, and I'm not trying to be mean, but she is a horrible actress.
There's a lot of bad acting in this movie.
But as we start off with her, it's like, oh, well, maybe she's a bad actress, but there must be a reason she's in the movie. Maybe she's a really good dancer. Maybe she's a good singer. She doesn't do any of those things.
Maybe somebody's daughter.
But like Demi Lovato's not a great actress
either.
She's a good singer.
Yeah.
The Jonases range from very bad acting to like maybe like schizophrenic kind of acting of like, is he a dick or is he a nice guy?
Yeah, that was a weird kind of balance throughout the movie. I didn't know how we were supposed to. I don't know how to.
Speaking of the Jonases, we see them roll up in a separate limo to the camp. Their names are, as I said, Shane Gray is played by Joe Jonas.
Yeah.
Nate Gray is played by Nick Jonas. And Jason Gray is played by Kevin Jonas. The other two that aren't Shane are giving him crap about being like, hey, you're such a piece of shit. Our agency wants you to like essentially do celebrity community service by working at this camp. It's a camp that they have a history with. Obviously, Uncle Brown is there, and we'll learn
they came out of the camp, right? Like they were once...
They're alumni of Camp Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something about, the final jam.
The big game.
Might as well be called the big game jam.
The big game.
Whoever wins that is going to get to do a recording or a song with Shane Gray.
Well, a chance at a recording.
Yeah, they kind of... It's like, you didn't read the fine print. It's actually just a chance.
An opportunity to maybe.
Yeah, you just get entered into the sweepstakes.
Yes.
He's seen by fans pretty quickly and then runs away and
dives behind like a tree.
Yeah,
like a bush.
was it Sean Spicer or the former Trump press secretary who hid from like the press one time by going into a bush? Or there was some politician who did that. But he's hiding in this bush that is by the camp cafeteria, which is where he overhears Mitchie playing a song on the piano.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, that's so good. But when he walks into the cafeteria, she's gone.
Yeah.
Mitchie deals with a lot of self-confidence issues. She wants to fit in.
Yeah, she's very embarrassed of being a poor.
She wants to fit in. She's seen all these rich kids around her. She sees that I'm not going to fit in because of that. She's not confident in her singing ability, even though she's very good. That's why she was just playing in the mess hall by herself when there was an open mic night that she wasn't stepping up for instead of Lola was stepping up for.
Yeah.
And this will be kind of a driving factor for Shane to track down this girl, but it kind of comes and goes and in some ways doesn't really pay off very well.
No.
I really thought I had a read on where it was going, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, things kind of turn around like halfway through the movie. I don't know. Things just,
Speaking of Mitchie being worried about her self-image, she is hiding that her mom is the camp cook.
Has to lie about her mother's occupation.
And I think this is where she is talking to... Oh, here we go. I'm kind of all over the place with my notes. The song by Lola is What It Takes. And I'm glad I got to this part in the notes. So Caitlin, the very bland friend of Mitchie, or kind of friend of Mitchie, is like, that's Lola. Wow, she's really good. Well, she should be good. Her mom's on Broadway. Oh my God, really? Broadway? Yeah, but nobody cares about it here because it's all about the bling.
It's all about the bling.
Which is...
money.
I think maybe I did a slightly better line reading than Caitlin actually did.
Yes, I would agree.
So is that your read on it? That it is about, like, money?
Bling,
Because I would say... not a lot of people here are blinged out. There's not a lot of like chains or anything.
I mean, like there's obviously like shaming, like, oh, your mother has to like work through physical stuff and works in the kitchen, like
but
like
I would think
thing.
A Broadway actress, it's not going to be like making insane numbers, but they're probably still doing pretty good.
I think it's just about like just jewelry because, like you said, not a lot of people wear jewelry.
Well, somebody who does, is Tess the snob,
the bitch,
the probably one of the meanest girls we've had in a Disney Channel.
I mean, not even just girl, just meanest character.
I just mean like the phrase like mean girl.
Okay,
and she is very much cut from the movie Mean Girls cloth because Mitchie will become part of the group, but she's going to be dictating what that group does in a very similar fashion to Regina George. And gets her comeuppance in the end in a way. So she's asking Mitchie about, what's your family do? Because it sounds like they're connected here at Camp Rock. She accidentally says my dad works at a hardware store, but then she covers by saying that her mom is, I think it was Hot Tunes, which is a TV show or the MTV kind of thing.
In China.
She's the president of Hot Tunes China.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, China, okay.
And that's all it takes is then she is allowed to stay in their lodge.
Because she can't prove that her mom's not the head of Chinese.
And the lodge is called Lodge Vibe, which I thought was funny.
I love it. I actually enjoy the one that her and her mom are in more. But
I don't care about what it looks like, but I just thought the name Lodge Vibe was funny.
Yes.
Tess has rich parent issues, as we often see in these movies. Her mom, I think, was T.J. Turner. And
T.J. Turner.
She's a multi-Grammy winner. Tess has this special charm bracelet that she gets a new charm for every Grammy that her mom wins.
Pure gold chain.
But we see that she's trying to call her mom, but her mom is like, can I talk to you later?
Mom's so busy. She's such a... Yeah.
We haven't really had a mom in a role like that. We haven't had a business mommy, so to speak.
And there's stuff with her mom later on in the movie, but there's never redemption between her and her mother, is there?
No. There's not a lot of good payoffs in this movie.
I just realized that.
It's very focused on the music, and it's very focused on this being a vehicle for the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, no.
This is a
100%.
huge fan service movie for fans of the Jonas Brothers.
Yes, 100%.
The surrounding plot, the surrounding just sets and everything, it all feels, as I said, closer to just a normal Disney Channel original movie than like something like High School Musical or High School Musical 2, where, though I did feel that High School Musical 2 is lacking in some ways, it still has a grander vision to it than Camp Rock. It's like, what do kids love? They love summer. What can we do? Throw them out of fucking camp. Let's make them sing. Hey, it's called Camp Rock.
Camp Rock.
They might as well have just called the Jonas Brothers in this movie, except then Shane, who's kind of a dick, but he's kind of nice too, and he flip-flops constantly. I don't know.
Yeah, that was something we definitely noticed. Like, his character is going through... Maybe, like you said, he's schizophrenic. Who knows?
He's going through something.
He's a little goofy.
So Mitchie stays in this lodge with the girls, but she still has to help her mom with cooking. So she has to sneak out early, and that creates some drama where she's accidentally waking up some of the girls, and then she's always gone, and Tess is like, bitch, where are you? Better have my money.
Bitch, better have my money.
Oh, and before they go to bed that night, Mitchie sings. She has a book of songs, lyrics and stuff, and she sings them one of her songs. And they were like, oh, that was pretty good. And Tess is she's trying to downplay how good she I think the term is negging, maybe.
Oh, negging.
That she's making her feel bad about herself, but then feel good about herself by being associated with Tess or something like that.
I don't like that girl.
I don't either.
So they did good, and then at one point they want us to make us feel bad for her, and I'm like, I don't feel bad for her.
That's the Disney way with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they try to redeem bad characters.
Oh, yeah, we just had a freaking Cruella de Vil solo movie where we're trying to give her a sympathetic origin when she's a woman who wants to kill puppies to make fur coats. Yeah. But girl boss power.
Girl Boss.
Yes, Queen.
Girl Boss was a show on Netflix that had one season before it got canceled. It was about a girl that would buy stuff on eBay and sell it.
I think I saw a trailer for that.
I enjoyed it, and I wish there was more.
I need to watch Tall Girl and Tall Girl, too.
Because you can relate, huh?
Because I'm tall?
Yes.
And a girl.
Ooh, okay.
Then they go to like a music class. It's taught by Uncle Brown.
Uncle Fester.
And he's just like, hey, who wants to sing? And then there's a bunch of people that volunteer, but he picks Mitchie through Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Oh, Eeny, Meeny.
And he's like, hey, sing. And she starts to sing the song she sang, I think, the night before, but she's too quiet. And then he's like, sing louder.
Yeah, he's getting aggressive with her.
And then she just starts to really belt it out. And Demi Lovato's a good singer, but there's a certain aspect to it, and I don't know if it was intentional through her performance to kind of belt it out to make it more forceful, which made it just sound awkward because she's just kind of yell singing in front of this class with no accompanying music. But everybody in the class is very impressed with her ability. I think one of them literally says, she's really good.
They do try to talk her up throughout the movie, but I don't know. There's the first two times she sings that song.
As I said, she's a good singer, so some of it is believable that they talk her up. I'm not saying this is...
I don't know if I liked her as much when she wasn't being auto-tuned or, you know, on like an actual mic, you know, but I don't know.
Well, you're thinking of Tess. Tess gets auto-tuned.
Oh, heavily, yes.
Well, Jacob, I'll just tell you,
you want me to sing? You want me to sing?
Not sorry.
Oh, God.
I believe that's a Demi Lovato song.
Oh.
Yeah, so then Tess is like, she's good, so I need a controller. So she asks her to join the group. Her group, which is a girl named Peggy. And then another girl who's not as important as Peggy. And Mitchie says, oh, no, for the final jam, I was thinking I was going to do solo. And Tess is like, oh, okay. You think you can do that? All right. I mean, it's a lot of people. Have you ever sung in front of people by yourself? Sure. Yeah, you could totally do that. I totally believe in you. And then Mitchie's like, oh, I guess you're right. I'll be with you guys.
Yeah.
So Tess got her wrapped around her finger.
Yeah.
Oh. My notes say horrifying scene. Not Tess. I think I wrote Tess, actually. Too many character names that I don't feel like fit the characters. Mitchie.
Demi.
Mitchie is helping her mom in the kitchen when Shane, Joe Jonas, comes in. And she just thinks he's a kid from the camp.
Yes.
So she doesn't want him to know who she is. So she slips down, puts on a chef's cap.
Oh, God.
And what else, Jake?
Well, she hears somebody come in, and she, like, nobody has any idea that she's in the kitchen, that she's the daughter of the cook. And so she needs to, hide her appearance and make sure nobody knows who she is.
Let's cut to this. She goes full Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, she puts on a chef's hat and she splashes her face with flour. She has full-on white face.
It pops up and it goes, hello!
Hello, children.
She doesn't say it like that, but she slowly stands up.
Yes.
And look up, just type into Google.
It's probably the image of this video if you're watching on YouTube.
I'll probably put it as the image, but there's a great GIF if you just type Demi Lovato, flower
it's pretty
face.
Good.
If you haven't seen the movie, just her slowly rising.
Oh my God.
Fairly terrifying.
It is. This scene too, so he's coming in to complain about like his allergies and stuff like that. But when he comes in and he starts talking, his tongue is already blue. And he eats like a cupcake while he's in there too.
Oh,
so like before
okay.
he's talking, his tongue's already like blue from eating the cupcake from like a previous take.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge fucking dick and saying, hey, can you tell the cook she sucks because she didn't follow my dietary recommendations, so I couldn't even eat my breakfast?
Yeah.
And Mitchie kind of stands up to him and says,
oh, 100%. She's like, excuse me? She's just kind of like, you're rude. This isn't how you talk to people,
And he's like, all right, respect.
Yeah,
Flower
it
face.
was. I was like, he was kind of like being a little dick, but like she kept, kind of like pushing him, to be better. And he does. He wants to be better. But I do think part of, like you said, like it's very strange, like his rude and mean sometimes, and trying to be like too cool. Like we talk about like his swagger walk that he has, and like other times where he like just seems like really sweet. It's very odd.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's going through, but it's something. It's also,
I think part of it too, like him being like rude and stuff, is like the image that he thinks he needs to put on to be like the superstar, to be like the celebrity. Like,
yeah, that's part of it.
I think they say that
he says
kinda,
later
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It's also very hard to track when stuff is happening, like how long this camp exists for, because almost no scenes ever take place at night. So it's just constant continual of like days. And I think this actually happens in the same day where Uncle Brown comes and talks to Shane and says, hey, you're not like the kid I used to know. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Dude, for real, though.
You used to love music. And he's like, yeah, I know, man. I do what the label wants, though. And I think this is maybe where he does say something like, hey, I'm just a dick because of my image. So then he has to go and teach a hip-hop dance class, which is very funny because he starts off very show-offy and being like, follow me if you can. And he starts doing all of these dance moves.
And I don't think he ever says like any words. Till the very end.
But everybody seems to follow him.
They definitely know.
Follow him so well to the point that they're able to improvise full group choreography that's not even following his own. So they're like perfect backup dancers to his solo dancing.
Yeah, and like you said, everybody knows what they're doing. They know all the choreography.
And he's very nice at the end. There's a drummer kid who trips,
falls,
and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just not a great dancer. I'm good at drumming." He's like,
and he starts drumming on the floor. The dude's basing out. He's like, "You got to learn to find that rhythm in your feet now.
Yeah, move that rhythm down to your feet." And he's like totally nice. And I'm like, is this guy like a sociopath?
It's very strange.
He's just all over the place. And it's another one of those times where it's hard for me to tell how much of it is deliberate character choice or writing, or just that maybe Joe Jonas,
bad actor,
is not the best actor as far as like when he's being nice. If he was only nice the whole movie, he'd be fine. But when he has those moments of being mean and then nice, his niceness feels like kind of hollow and
fake,
superficial in a way that it does feel like a performance or like psychopathic that he's trying to
it's very strange.
Ensnare the other characters in the movie.
Yeah, kind of, I don't know, it just kind of takes you out of it. It's just like a weird like flip of a switch. It's very strange.
Yeah, hard for me to track. Next morning, during breakfast, Mitchie's mom stops by Tessa's table and introduces herself and says, "Oh, I'm here to meet Mitchie's friends." And then Mitchie's like, "Okay, go away now." And they're like, "Why do you know the lunch lady?" Everybody knows the lunch lady. What are you talking about? She's super nice. Then she, I think, even covers for the fact that she knows the lunch lady by saying, she's a really good caterer. She's catered for...
my mom.
I think she says Pharrell. And it's like, oh.
They're dropping Pharrell Williams?
Well, I mean, Pharrell's been around for a while, but I'm kind of surprised that
big.
he was... Because I know he kind of had, like, a dip in, like, people knowing him. Yeah. And then he came back with Happy and working with Daft Punk on, like, Get Lucky. Happy. But for a while, he was just, like, a well-known producer, I think, largely. Yeah. So it was weird, unless this is, like, a made-up Pharrell. But they do reference, like, Mick Jagger as a real person. Yeah, they do. So I assume this is real Pharrell.
Names that they drop throughout the movie, not necessarily, like... I mean, there are the Jonas Brothers in this movie, but they don't have any, like, other special kind of guest appearances or anything.
No Hannah Montana showing up.
Sad.
And then it's time. As I said, there's multiple different jams. I believe this is the Campfire Jam.
God, love our jams.
And we only see one performance, and it is Tess. Yeah. And everybody's, I think, wearing gold, and she's wearing silver, or she's wearing gold, and everybody else is wearing silver. But the backup singers are Mitchie, Peggy, and that other girl. But then there's also extra dancers who we haven't seen before, and we, like, never see after that point.
Yeah.
And this song is called Too Cool. It's more poppy, very, like, techno heavy. And this is one where Tess has a lot of post-production effects, it sounds like, on her singing.
It's pretty bad. The auto-tune.
I wasn't generally a big fan of this one, but maybe it's not even one we're supposed to like too much because...
Is it nighttime here, though?
It is night. This is like the one nighttime scene, maybe besides like the end of the movie I can think of. But we're supposed to maybe not like this song as well because it's just about her. She's saying she's too cool. Yeah. Mitchie's in the background feeling sad that she's just a backup singer in this situation.
Yeah.
But then Shane, Joe Jonas, saunters up in the back as he does in so many of these jam sessions to listen and be like, yeah, I'm nodding. I like this.
I like this shit.
Then Mitchie runs into Shane playing guitar at the lake. And some of this maybe seems a little all over the place, but that is largely how this movie sometimes functions, is like scene, scene, scene.
It's scene, song, scene, song, scene, song.
And she overhears him playing something on an acoustic guitar. She says, oh, that's not like your normal stuff.
Yeah, he got like defensive kind of.
He's like, yeah, because I just got to play that because that's what the fucking label wants.
Yeah, he says like some kind of phrase or he labels it some kind of music.
I want to do my own music, but I just got to live up to what everybody thinks about me. I hate my fucking brother. He doesn't say anything about his brothers.
What he means, though. That's what he
If that was written into the movie, there'd be a lot of drama.
I was surprised that he would like portray like this character who's like a jerk.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Like why wouldn't they put them all on kind of pedestals? It is weird that they would be like, yeah, let's make him look like I 100%. Like
maybe that's the girls, boy groups, they always gotta have like the bad boy of it.
So like you might have a point there, but like yeah, I mean there's definitely people that watch this movie who are thinking like is this how we really treat
maybe they're
people?
Into that.
Huh? Maybe.
Girls always go for the bad guy.
The bad. Nice guys finish last.
Exactly. Jacob knows that. Lucas doesn't know that because he's bad, but also finishes last.
Ooh.
Tess is mean to Caitlin in the mess hall. There seems to be, we don't know fully yet.
Yeah. She doesn't expose her here, does she? Or is
this is Caitlin.
Oh, okay.
The boring friend we haven't brought up for a while.
Yes.
Caitlin seems to have had some history with Tess. We'll learn more about that as the movie goes along. It somehow devolves into a food fight that was very disappointing.
Yeah,
you can't have a camp movie without a food fight.
Or it was like 3 or 4 people that were in it,
and they were they were just throwing.
Are you okay? Do you need a minute?
They were just throwing normal noodles.
There wasn't
not
like
even
any
sauce on the spaghetti.
Yeah,
it was just plain spaghetti noodles.
They weren't getting messy.
But Uncle Brown is not happy about this minor food fight.
Uncle Brown, not a fan.
He brings them in, and Tess says, hey, Caitlin was throwing food first, which I think even Caitlin says is technically true, but it was really more Tess's fault that the food fight continued, but Mitchie doesn't say anything because she's still trying to be friends with Tess, and then Caitlin gets mad at her about that, and Uncle Brown assigns Caitlin to kitchen duty.
And then she responds, Mitchie does, like, what? Because now she knows that she's going to have to work with her in the kitchen.
It seems weird. Because eventually we do see other people helping out. But for a lot of it, it's the mom and Mitchie cooking for what is said at one point to be 300 people.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of cupcakes.
A lot of cake.
Then Shane just asks Mitchie to listen to a song of his. And it's just like by the lake, and he's just playing a song on the acoustic. Super fan servicey moment. It's for every girl to self-insert to imagine Joe Jonas singing them their own personal song.
So special.
This one's called Gotta Find You. It's fine. It's good. I think the Jonas Brothers are musically talented enough.
He sounds really good in it. There's
but
good song.
Not for me, necessarily. I'm not getting, there's no stirring in my loins over Joe Jonas.
Stirring.
I should say, the haircuts in this movie.
I love them.
So 2008.
Yeah.
Really takes us back. Just pull up, if you have Disney Plus, just type in Camp Rock to pull up the image for it. And it's just, oh my God. It's very similar to some of the haircuts we've had. It's like Troy's hair, High School Musical,
Bolton.
Or even some of the hairstyles in Minutemen. It's just, of a time.
Good
Back when
days.
you didn't need to even try to make your hair look good, I think. You could just have long hair. Just have it be straight, and then you could be in a boy band.
Fair.
But then Shane takes a page from The Little Mermaid, or at least that's the read I had, where he was saying, oh, I heard this girl's voice. It was so nice, but she was gone before I could find her. Now I'm just trying to find this girl. And Demi's like, oh, cool. It's not me, though.
No.
Which I think she doesn't
hide it.
She just assumes, actually, because it'll progress later on, and she just assumes it couldn't be her. But she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't want it to be her.
Yeah, because she doesn't believe in herself, right? She's always kind of down on herself.
Yeah, and he says, "Hey, I like you because you're different.
Because you're honest.
You're honest. You're different. You're kind of like this girl who's really inspired me.
Oh.
But you're not that girl. I'm trying to find that girl who was singing. But
yes.
Maybe you're like a close second.
Maybe you're like that girl."
While she's helping out with kitchen duty, Caitlin eventually finds out that Mitchie is the cook's daughter.
Not good.
And
we thought she would find out.
We thought there would be something more like just dramatic or accidental, but it's just like, oh, sure, she's assigned kitchen duty. Of course she's going to find out that Mitchie is the cook's daughter.
Yeah.
And even like when Tess, spoiler, she finds out, it is in the least dramatic fashion ever.
How she finds out is kind of funny because like Mitchie's like trying to.
It's not funny.
Maybe it's not funny. I don't know. It's something.
Mitchie covers her face with 2 giant bags of tortilla chips.
And then she trips on, what does she put on her?
A mop bucket or something?
Yeah, and then she gets really messy. She has chips in her hair. Now this is the reveal. And it's like, oh my God, you're a liar. She's pissed.
She's at it with the amazing line delivery again where she says, "This is rich, and you're not."
That's funny.
And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to read that. It is funny how it is in the movie because it is so bad, but I don't even know if it's actually maybe better in the way it is because it's so bad it's funny, whereas if it was delivered by a competent actress, it probably just would be like, oh, that's not funny. That's just kind of cringy. But Caitlin's mad at Mitchie for lying. And
she's like really mad. Like this is maybe the most mad I've seen a character in a movie.
And it's part of it is that she was lying so that she could be cool with Tess.
Yeah.
And then Mitchie's like, hey, well, fuck you. You're all like, I don't care about anything. I'm just Caitlin. I'm hardly a character in this movie. Well, if you were hardly a character in this movie, why are you in this movie? Why are you at Camp Rock? You must care. Boom. So he just went from 0 to 60 really with like, oh. Yep, it's 2/3 in the movie. Let's have some characters get mad at each other real quick.
Bang.
And it might not even be 2/3 into the movie because there'll be other characters that get mad at each other. Then it's the pajama jam time.
Oh, it's just like the 5th jam of the movie.
Yeah, and I don't really know what happens. Caitlin gets up to perform, but she doesn't sing. She kind of pops and locks robot dances, and she's just playing like the most basic kind of MIDI techno music. It's like beep boop boop doop boop. And people are like, damn, she's fucking good. And Tess is like, oh no, everybody loves her. So she pretends to see a snake, and that cancels the performance. And then Shane Gray, Joe Jonas is like, oh, I thought she was good too, but now I'm shaking my head and walking away. And it ends with Mitchie. I don't really catch what happened. but she stands up to Tess to say, like, hey, you're being a bitch.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin is cool with her. So we get the classic characters mad at each other for one scene, gets resolved by the end of the next scene.
Yeah.
Around this time is where Caitlin reveals that she used to be friends with Tess, but she's a user. She sucks.
She uses drugs, black
she's
tar heroin.
She's a user and a pusher. She just extracts the qualities of her friends to use them to prop herself up, puts everybody else in the background, that kind of thing. Joe calls the rest of the Jonas Brothers to say, hey, this is actually not that bad. I'm totally on board for recording this song with whoever the winner is, and I will see you guys.
A chance at recording.
I'll think about it, and I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Bang.
So I thought that meant the final jam was already coming up on Saturday, but it's not quite there. Joe Jonas, again, this is where I thought it was going to be like Little Mermaid, wants to find the girl who sang the song, so he spreads a rumor about it. So then he has all these girls coming up to sing to him.
Yeah, serenading him.
Just like essentially Ursula does.
Yeah.
At one point, Tess even steals Mitchie's songbook, so she has the lyrics.
We really thought that was going to play out, and it should have.
And it didn't.
Nothing happens.
I mean, it would just be like The Little Mermaid, but like, hey, The Little Mermaid's a better movie than Camp Rock. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very strange.
But it's a fun montage of all the girls. They're all singing to him. Some of them are bad. Some of them are good. Some of them are like grouping up on him to sing at him as he's trying to go for a swim at the lake or whatever.
I like that scene. Yeah, they had a little fun with this kind of montage of people singing to him. There was somebody that like ended up calling like his computer or something, you know, like a Skype call.
It's like she's at the camp.
Yeah, it was. They just were whatever fun thing they could do. It was a fun montage.
But importantly, Mitchie doesn't sing for him because she. I don't know. She just assumes it couldn't be her.
No,
and she doesn't have the confidence
think she's
to try.
Good. Yes, correct. No confidence at all.
But they go for a romantic canoe ride
in circles.
They just row in circles.
It's very weird. They are self-aware of just how weird the like.
But it's still like, well, how did you get out that far into the lake if you were just doing circles?
Yeah, it was okay.
Joe Jonas gets to be like, yeah, man. I just don't know sometimes my friends who likes me for me or who's just there for the fun parties and free stuff. And Demi's kind of like, I'm here for the free stuff, but it's, supposed to be a cute little thing. But again, the line delivery is like, she kind of mostly sounds serious and not sarcastic enough. But it's a cute little scene.
You would think somebody, like, I don't know, like, she was definitely, like, prominent, like I said, back then. She had her own Disney show and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know, there's just a lot of bad acting throughout the whole movie, or just a lot of confusing.
I don't know how old she was in this movie. She seems noticeably younger than even the image for Camp Rock 2, which is only 2 years later than this. So, we all grow.
Yeah, we all grow.
Something else that's growing is Tessa's hatred for Mitchie because she sees them in this canoe ride. And then she also just sees that Mitchie's mom is the cook.
Yeah, they're like leaving the cabin and she just happens to be walking around like the same corner or whatever as they say goodbye. Bye, Mom.
She just happens across her saying, see ya, Mom, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, movie, try a little more. Have it be more dramatic. And then we don't even get like the immediate payoff right away.
No.
Because it's the beach jam time.
It's the beach jam.
The penultimate jam before the final jam. It's the beach jam. And again, this is maybe just one performance because all of Connect 3 is here to play a song. And so it's
Connect the Dots.
All of the Jonas Brothers, they play a song called Play My Music.
Wow.
Which I assume is probably pretty typical for what a Jonas Brothers song would sound like. I don't know that many of them. The only one I think I've actually heard, ironically, is them doing a cover of Ursula from The Little Mermaid's villain song, Poor Unfortunate Souls, which is not good. But the song is, it's pretty good. It's probably one of my...
That's what I would say. Like,
one of the better ones in the movie.
The song's not good or their performance wasn't good, but
no.
You cleared it up.
Poor Unfortunate Souls is a classic Disney villain song.
You cleared it up. No fog, no haze.
So yeah, their song ends. The two bros leave because it's not the final jam yet, so they'll be back for the final jam.
They will be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The Jonas Brothers will return in the final jam.
And maybe in Camp Rock too. The final jam.
I don't know what it's
I think it's called the Final Jam.
Yeah, I think you might actually be right.
I think it is.
Tess then has this moment to call out Mitchie as being a liar. Her mom is not the president of Hot Tunes China.
Like, this is like, she's putting her on blast in front of the entire camp, basically.
And this had my biggest laugh of the movie, where Caitlin jumps in to say, or Tess is like, well, what's your mom really like, Mitchie? And Caitlin says, oh, she's great. She's a great mom. What is your mom like? And this guy just hops in and says, like, a mom?
That was pretty funny. She's like a mom.
It's like, I fucking hate
What does
mom.
What does that mean?
My mom's dead.
Oh, no.
So Mitchie tells the truth that she was, lying to fit in or whatever. And Shane, Joe Jonas, overhears and yells at her because she lied. She's a liar just like everybody else.
You're like everybody else. I hate you.
I'm so sad. Then Tess is just overhearing everybody. She's like behind a tree listening to Uncle Brown talk to Shane to say like, hey man, you seem really down. What's going on? He says last night, but it's another daytime scene, and the beach jam was a daytime scene, so it's like, what is the passage of time in this movie?
Everything's days. It's always day.
And he says, I think he's still down about not being able to find the girl, and he sings some of the lyrics he had heard her sing, and Tess recognizes it as the song Mitchie sang to them, so then she goes and retrieves Mitchie's lyric book so that she knows all the lyrics. She does not do anything with that.
No.
It literally does not come into play at all. We thought she would go and say, here, I'm the girl, actually.
Or when she performed at the final thing.
She would steal it for the final jam.
She should have. That's how they should have played it out. Yeah,
It's like they had that idea and then they forgot about it, or there was different edits of the movie, and some of it just
it would have had to have been. There was definitely a purpose for that scene. Disney Channel movies can be like silly, goofy, have holes, but like this was, they were setting up for something, and like you said, maybe edits.
The scene was that if we had forgotten that it was actually Mitchie singing earlier in the movie. Like
that whole 30-second scene should have just been cut, and it would have just like, it wouldn't have left us with like questions like, oh, like why did she go in there? Like later on, maybe there's like they could have also played it in another reason why she was in her cabin or whatever.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that.
Yeah, but they don't do that either. It's just a wasted scene. It causes for more confusion.
Everybody's mad.
Pissed.
Joe Jonas is still mad. He gives a class speech just being like, hey, you guys, never be a hater. Just be real. Be yourself.
Just be real.
First things first, be the realist.
That's all. Yeah.
And he's basically just talking to Demi Lovato, who is like sitting in the
staring
corner.
her down, and she's in the fetal position, just
like crying.
Like,
there.
yeah.
So I thought that was, I laughed. I
was giggling a little bit. I maybe shouldn't have.
This is Camp Rock, okay? Let's dial back the emotions a bit.
Yeah, dial it back a bit. Jesus.
Somebody who we've kind of forgotten is that Mitchie's mom is like, hey.
Oh shit, Mitchie's mom still works there, huh?
Why did you lie about me being the cook? And I'm not ashamed of you. I just wanted to fit in. Everybody else has rich parents, and I just wanted to be cool for once. And the mom is like, you are cool.
You're cool to me.
You should be more confident. You're such a good singer. And I'm not saying that as a mom. I think you're hot.
Yeah, that was weird. I think you're cute, but like not in a mom way. I was like, this is weird.
All right, Disney Channel.
Like I said, if the dad said that,
it's okay. It's her stepmom.
I think you're cute, but not in a dad way. Like that would have been like, that's naughty. Bad Disney Channel. You're dirty.
And then Tess makes fun of Mitchie's mom's food.
Mitchie's mom has got it going on.
So Mitchie stands up to her and says, hey, fuck you. Also, I don't know if it was clear or not, I'm out of your group. And I'm going to start a new group. So then we get a crazy montage in the lead up to the final jam, where they have a big final jam sign that gets signs updated on it to say how many days are left to it, very much like the days counting down to Christmas or Halloween and the Nightmare Before Christmas. And it seems that their group is just about every other character in the movie outside of Tessa's group, even characters we don't know the names of.
Like they do. Yeah, they do utilize like a lot of the characters. Like they could have just made this movie kind of just focusing on like, Mitchie and, the Jonas dude and maybe the bad girl, but like they do kind of like.
I mean, that's literally what the movie is.
But like, I don't know, like both those girls kind of get focused on like later on, like they kind of have like their own big scenes.
It just builds out to have unique song numbers, and it's not just those 3 people singing all of the songs. I didn't mind that.
No, yeah.
Sometimes I get annoyed in these movies where we do have a situation like the final jam.
Yeah.
And we only see like 2 performances. And this time we actually see like 4. So I thought that was a nice change of pace.
Fair.
On the day of the final jam, though, Tess accuses Caitlin and Mitchie of stealing her charm bracelet.
Yes.
And it just is nestled into some of the cookbooks in the kitchen where they're currently standing.
Yes.
And Uncle Brown's like, shit, caught you red-handed.
Like, before they even noticed that it's in the kitchen, she was going to say, oh, well, we should go back to your cabin and check. And then
he doesn't. He just looks at the cookbooks.
And it's just sitting in there. This is where I thought,
yeah,
okay.
you called this out.
Yes, so this is where I thought maybe, like, this would have been perfect to have, like the charm bracelet, like, inside her little, like, songbook or something.
Yeah.
And it would have connected the dots. Like it would have been perfect. Well, there's like 2 holes. One, he says, I'm going to go check your cabin. He doesn't. And then 2, why is she in the room? Why is she looking at the songbook? Like, they could have just connected it and it solves 2 holes. But they don't.
It's a mess. But they are then banned by Uncle Brown from Final Jam.
No, they are banned until the end of the Final Jam.
I mean, they're banned from the Final Jam. They're banned from Camp Rock activities until the end of the Final Jam.
End of. It's all in the wording there.
There's not a rule that says a dog can't play basketball. I was kind of underwhelmed by the Final Jam's venue. It's just like a small stage.
Yeah.
But the crowd all has glow sticks, so that was kind of fun.
They were green, I think.
All of Connect 3, the Jonas Brothers, are the judges for the event. And, of course, this is where we are reminded that the prize is a recording deal with Shane. Actually, no, it says a chance to record.
A chance to record with. No.
Backstage, Tess is really laying into her 2 remaining friends.
Yeah, like she's still being a little twat.
Who both quit.
Yeah, they do. They say, we don't need this verbal harassment from you anymore. And the one girl leaves. And then she's still being rude to the other one. And then so she leaves too. So now she's by herself.
And we get the first performance, which is by the Hasta La Vista crew.
Yeah.
Which is essentially all of the minority kids that have been the backgrounds of the other scenes.
Correct.
Just condensed into a single group. Including one of Tessa's friends who I think is like Asian maybe.
Yeah.
Who then just joins in and the lyrics and dance moves.
She knows all the choreography. It's just how it should be.
Bunch of kids jumping around on trampolines. Yeah, I don't know. This one just seemed like a bit more of a mess.
Yeah. This is
and
like
the song was fine enough, just like the choreography. Like at the end of the movie, both me and Jacob brought this up out loud, but we were both thinking it at the same time. It's like, this feels like a play.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're on a stage, but it does feel like how much more like low scale.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, like I said, this is like one of the bigger DComs they've had. They have fucking Jonas Brothers in it. They could have like did a little bit.
They could have done a stadium concert.
Oh god, that would have been cool.
So, Hasta La Vista crowd, pretty good. Then Tess performs, and as she's going out, she sees in the audience, is that my mom? The business mommy has shown up to see her daughter.
But like she's there, but not
She doesn't have a line.
Yeah.
It's so like immediate, like...
See, it would have been cool if they would have had like a special guest as that part.
Who would you have wanted?
Well, I don't know. Like
her mom's Cher?
Maybe
her
Cher,
mom's Madonna.
Dolly Parton.
I mean, this is a Disney Channel original movie budget, okay.
Shania Twain.
Yeah, you said Shania.
They could have had somebody
but
recognizable.
Then, yeah, I guess
it. Oh, wait.
It had to be somebody who's maybe won actual Grammys, so it wouldn't be like,
you could have had,
sorry that you're playing this character who's
Dolly
won more
Parton,
awards
the old
than
mother,
you.
the old mom.
Whatever
Dolly.
the case, I don't know what Jacob's weird fan booking here is. The song is called 2 Stars. There's some interesting...
not to be confused with 2 Phones by Kevin Gates.
I never heard of it.
Check it out. I got 2 phones. One for the...
2 chains?
2 chains, 2 phones.
He's relevant because he's in the NFTs now.
Oh, really?
See, I make fun of it. Jacob's like, oh, I guess I'll have to follow 2 Chainz on Twitter now. So there's like this interesting...
dialed in.
The
Two
song
Chainz.
2 Stars.
News.
There's this interesting mirror choreography where she's got mirrors around her, like 6 mirrors, looking at them at different times.
They do some like cool, like there's like a cool little part where she's able to be seen. I don't know. The mirrors are kind of cool.
I wasn't paying too close attention, but Jacob was very into it.
Yeah, I was.
But then the business mommy gets a phone call.
Mommy.
And she looks like she's going to go away. Tess sees this and just fucks up immediately. ruins the song, and then runs off stage.
Yeah, it's really weird. She just like stops and like her mom's like watching her like, self-destruct and just like, oh, my bad.
And then she's crying backstage, and it's like, oh, are we really supposed to feel bad for her just because, you know, she's got mommy issues?
So like, yeah, and then
and
like
the answer is yes, we're supposed to feel bad for her.
Well, I kind of feel bad because like it's never resolved. Like her mom you never see her mom ever again.
We got a Camp Rock too.
You never see her mom ever again, but she changes. She changes, her attitude and character changes.
So the other friend that was the cast off or quit Tess's group, Peggy, she is a surprise entrant at the end of the final jam where she plays a guitar solo song that she sings to. This is called Here I Am.
Here I am.
And there's some weird flashbacks to times where Tess was being mean to her.
Yeah, it was...
But I thought this was a good song.
Yeah.
My notes say good song, but
really
I don't care.
No, this is where she's strumming on the guitar and there's no aux cord.
There's no hookup to an amp, but I don't know about guitars. It could be wireless. It's definitely not an auxiliary cord.
Amp cord. Sorry.
But at this point, I'm just like, I kind of want the movie to be over. This is maybe too many songs.
Yeah, and
but she does good.
Yeah, like the songs, I don't know, like the performances maybe got better as the movie went on, or maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what they did. They do the shittiest songs and like the worst performances at the start, and they gradually make them better and more elaborate to make you think like, wow.
I don't think that's probably a great plan for a medium like television.
No, it should be the other way around, right?
Stop watching.
Make it great. I don't know. Did you kind of get that vibe too? Like just kind of how
I
like
didn't.
The performances?
No, I didn't. I'm not a hater.
Well,
I'm real.
You love this movie, you're saying. This is one of your top 5
I'm
films?
not a hater on the music.
Okay.
I'm a hater on most of the rest of this movie. But then Tess also thinks she was really good and says, hey, you were really good.
Yeah. Like,
and then I'm sorry.
Like her, like she, so we had Demi
we're supposed
crying,
to be fine with Tess now.
So we had Demi crying in the corner earlier in the fetal position, and now Tess we see her in the corner and crying in the fetal position too. You know, you got that sympathy. She's sad. She needs love in her life.
So that is the end of the final jam. The brothers all get up to just be in the back of the room, and that's where they're deliberating on their decision. And Uncle Brown was very deliberate to have said, hey, you are banned until the end of the final jam. So then Mitchie and Caitlin show up, and he's like, hey, you picked up on it. You can perform because the final jam is over.
That's right.
I guess we're supposed to assume because Caitlin is kind of a composer. She was doing that techno stuff earlier. We don't see her on stage at all, but Mitchie has an accompanying music, so we assume she wrote it. Otherwise, I don't know what Caitlin did at this part of the movie.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
But it's the song. We get the full version of the song that we've heard a couple of times. Her singing in front of the class. Her maybe playing it on the piano. It's This Is Me. It's a pretty good song. I feel like I maybe have heard it, but that might also have just been I heard it multiple times in this movie. And then when it came up later, I'm like, oh, I feel like I've heard this song. Shane, Joe Jonas, recognizes it. He's like, you're the fucking girl.
That's her. It's her. We found our woman.
And then he just comes in, and somehow, even though he only heard a little bit of her song earlier, he knows the lyrics.
All the lyrics.
And it's like a unique duet part for a man with the woman.
Yeah.
But it's a good song. It's a fun one. Not any really special choreography going on here. Jacob seemed very excited that they were holding hands.
Yeah,
are they holding hands? In my Disney Channel original movie?
Couldn't be having.
The crowd also loves it. They cheer at the end. But that doesn't mean they win because they weren't officially in the contest.
Doesn't mean they win.
The chance to record with Shane Gray goes to Peggy. She wins. And then,
I would say deservingly so. Like I said, we both enjoyed her performance.
Yeah, we were allowed to see. Maybe there were others.
We'll never know.
Who knows?
We'll never
Tess
know.
also makes up with Caitlin and Mitchie.
Yeah,
and says,
I don't know if does she apologize or what does she say?
Yeah, she says, and I'll see you next summer.
Yes, see you next summer,
bitches. Shane or Nick. Nope, not Nick. Joe Jonas tells Demi, my search is over. I found you. Cool. Whatever. The movie should be over, right? Nope. We had the final jam. Now Uncle Brown welcomes us to the final jam session.
The final jam. The Jim Jam, if you will.
Where they perform everybody, literally just about every single character in the movie so far, joins in a very High School Musical style ending to sing "We Rock."
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It's a jam session, but everybody knows the lyrics. And the final line they sing is Camp Rock. They point at a sign that says Camp Rock like they're a wrestler on the road to WrestleMania.
Yes.
And then this is where me and Jake were like, this feels like a play.
It feels like a play. It did.
This feels low rent. This is off Broadway. And that was Camp Rock.
The rear end.
I think this is one where we really run up against that we are not the target demographic for this movie. The Jonas Brothers being in this would have been a huge deal. It's not there for me. I don't get to self-insert and live vicariously through Demi Lovato or whatever. I enjoyed some of the music, the story, and connecting bits. A lot of the acting and line delivery is some of the worst we've had in a while. Yeah. It's up there with Ring of Endless Light. I can't remember that
weird
girl's name. Misha Barton. It's up there with Misha Barton of Basil. Did you say Basil? I think that can make it fun in some ways, that you do get a balance of like so bad it's good line delivery with some decent songs.
The premise of the movie could have been, I don't know, I do think like the acting and stuff kind of definitely took away from. They should have had the three Lawrence brothers playing the Jonases.
They're definitely too old by this point. The three Lawrence brothers play the Jonas Brothers playing Connect 3. A tournament of them playing Connect 4 against each other.
I'm in on that.
You got anything more to say?
I don't know. Like maybe the later half of the movie maybe made up for what I thought was maybe a weaker beginning. Overall, I don't love
Jacob was actually standing up and yelling Camp Rock at the end.
Camp Rock! I jumped up in the air and actually froze in time.
He punched my TV, pointing at the Camp Rock sign.
Yes.
I don't know if it's fair to say I was disappointed, because all I really knew about this movie was the name. And I like some of Demi Lovato's songs I've heard, but obviously I'm not a Jonas Brothers fan, so I don't think I really had that high of expectations, just besides knowing that like this one was really popular. And I liked High School Musical 1, and that one was really popular. Didn't like High School Musical 2 as much, and that was the most successful DCOM. So, you know what? Fingers crossed that Zombies.
Yeah, Zombies.
Still lives up to my hype and expectations.
The camp in this movie, it was filmed in Ontario. At camps White Pine and Towhee in Haliburton, Ontario, Canada.
Well, getting that under the wire, because bam! All right, no more Camp Rock talk. We can't say another thing about Camp Rock. Except that, never remember who we want to say.
Well, yeah, that'd be
who's
tough.
Going up against Al-Qaeda from
the Jonas Brothers or Demi Lovato?
Or Uncle Brown.
I don't know. We got to do the Jonases, I think.
Yeah, they're more of a unit, but they're not. It's not happening.
I don't know what. Would they serenade him to stop? I don't think they could do it.
Back in like the 60s and 70s, there seemed to have been quite like an epidemic of just like musicians dying in plane crashes. You know, you got the Day the Music Died. You got
Buddy Holly,
John
Big
Denver, I think
Richie Valens,
a bunch of like half of like Leonard Skinner or something.
Yeah, there were a lot of. There were so
I'm
many
saying
people
is the Jonas
dying.
Brothers was on one. They were on one of the planes. Why they had the opportunity to stop Al Qaeda.
They're the reasons they crashed.
There was actually one on each of the planes.
That's bad.
Because you know what, they were in some ways. People talk about. This is going really far a flight, but radical Islam. There's some ways that it could be compared to like maybe some radical Christianity, where the Jonas Brothers were all about purity rings.
Yeah,
very strict with adhering to some rules like that. So maybe they're like, hey,
too much meme for one.
This Osama guy, I'm kind of buying what he's selling. So death to America, I guess.
No. Allahu Akbar.
All right. Well, if you're a Jonas Brothers fan and you want to let us know how mad you are that we compare them to radical Islamists, you can write us at awholenewpod@gmail.com.
Do it, please.
No comments or emails to read off this week, but if you also want to comment for us, you can find us at youtube.com/awholenewpod. Follow us and tweet at us at AWNpod.
Yes, please.
Run by the homie
Dustin Halovich.
As well as Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. You know the drill. You know the places. Dustin also does a good job of getting that out on Twitter.
Yeah.
For those locations.
Great follow. Better than I could do.
Yeah, follow him. I think we might be only the followers right now.
So let's get a couple followers.
We don't have Jacob juicing our numbers to eventually get our account banned. So if only we were able to build it a little more organically and we didn't start a Twitter account during our 70th episode of our podcast.
It is what it is.
Camp Rock.
Camp Rock. We rock.
Is
that it? Are we done?
Hey, Mitchie, tell us about your mom again. Her mom is a great person. What's your mom like?
She's like a mom.